Hi everybody, this is Bruce here. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Traveling with Bruce. Please subscribe to my channel today and become a key supporter of Traveling with Bruce by clicking the Patreon link. Enjoy the video. Hey everybody, Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Here's another update for all of us regarding Hurricane Irma and the after effects. We've been watching it on CNN, obviously, and other news sources. It's just been terrible. Here's an overview of the Eastern Caribbean area that they've been talking about, where the hurricane barreled its way through. Cuba, of course, you can see there, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Santo Domingo, and Antigua, British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands. It was unbelievable. Not all of these islands were destroyed or badly damaged. Some of them were partially. This is a shot here of St. Thomas. If you were flying in on an airplane before the hurricane, it doesn't look like that now, unfortunately. Here's a shot of St. Thomas today. This is just one of many that have been posted. These are pictures from the U.S. military. Here, people being medevaced out. St. Thomas is lucky; it's a U.S. territory, and so the might and power of the U.S. government it can step in there and help. Cruise ships have been idle or have been parked and have been kept away from the danger zone, and they'll be ready to roll as soon as they're allowed back in. Unfortunately, in the Eastern Caribbean, they're not coming back for a while. Ports that have been closed include Barbuda, St. Maarten, St. Bart's, Antigua, British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, Turks and Caicos, and of course Cuban ports. Here are pictures of Fort Lauderdale and Miami, the airports and the port facilities. Miami International is open again, the airport. The port is opening today. This is Tuesday, September the 12th. Fort Lauderdale, the port is opening today. The airport is opening later today. But unfortunately, all around the port and the airports, there's no electricity. There's no gas stations with gas. There are no employees to take care of you. Car rental agencies have all their cars that basically were bugging out before the hurricane hit. So scenes like this here in St. Thomas are going to be a long time before we see something like this again, unfortunately. The structures and the infrastructure in Florida, we're hearing everything about 7 million people without power. The Florida Keys have 25% of the homes destroyed. Islands like this, we've had 80 to 95% destruction. And a lot of people were evacuated prior to and are still being evacuated even today. Upwards of 7,000 to 10,000 tourists are stranded or were stranded in these islands. And with the U.S. military, cruise ships bringing in ships, the Canadian government, British government, tourists are being evacuated. And unfortunately for the islands, their economy and their growth engines are greatly diminished and are going to be in serious trouble. The IMF is going to have to step in with financial aid for a number of these countries to help carry them through. They're going to have to rebuild. They need power to be reinstalled. The problem is you can't just send a transport truck to a warehouse to go get transformers. Unlike Florida, you can bring product in from Texas, Georgia, from Tennessee, from Las Vegas, from California. You can drive replacement parts in anywhere from the United States into Florida to repair Florida. And even in Florida, they're talking weeks before electricity is up and running completely. Here on these islands, you have to import these goods, and you're competing with Florida for the actual parts that you need for your electrical system. So unfortunately, these islands are going to be on a wait list for a lot of the parts that they need. And this cable car ride that we are watching here is run by electricity, and I don't see it coming up and running for a long, long time, unfortunately. So it's going to be a tough one for the Eastern Caribbean. Cruise lines have rerouted future cruises over the next 6 months to Western Caribbean sites. Some of the Eastern Caribbean ports that have survived, like Barbados, Antigua, St. Kitts, Nevis, Puerto Rico, of course, Dominican Republic, and the Bahamas, they will receive cruise ship passengers, absolutely, but it'll be at the expense of the closed ports. And then, of course, in the Western Caribbean, they will also get spillover as well. So for cruise passengers, not as many choices as before, but you're not going to be dropped off at St. Thomas for the day and be walking through the devastation. No, that's not going to happen. Anyway, thanks for watching my channel today. Please visit my Patreon site. We're looking for Patreon supporters, and we'll keep you posted on the next update. Talk to you soon.